Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Happy Friday. Oh boy, it's hot today. 37 degrees, 100 Fahrenheit. So yeah, pretty warm. But I'm at the seaside, kinda. So today, I'm just going to talk about 10 tips for beginner motorcyclists. Or at least my top 10. So yeah, stick around. If you're new to the channel, my name's Sarah. I do motorcycle related content. Awesome to have you along for the ride. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Back with new content every Friday. So yeah, let's crack on with this then. So, number 10. Find a support group who can help you. The advent of the internet, which is something that didn't exist when I was learning to ride. Shows you how old I am. The advent of the internet, there are loads of groups available for new riders. And there's an awful lot you can learn from the people in it. Everybody goes through similar experiences when they're learning to ride. So it's good to be able to share those with other people, and quite often in those groups you get a lot of experienced riders as well. You can get them for different types of bikes, or just generally new riders, or male riders, or women riders. So yeah, seek out some support groups. Even better if you can, and you know someone who already rides, who's got a bit of experience, and you trust them, and you trust in their riding ability, then tap them up. And get some help and advice from them. You'll often find that away from the bravado on the internet, that most people are actually really willing to just help you out as a new rider and make sure you're safe and have a long and happy biking career ahead of you. So yeah, that's number 10. Find a support group or a friend or friends who into biking and can help you and answer your questions without judgment. Right, number 9 on the list. Buy a suitable bike. So you just passed your test, you got your license, and you're out shopping for your first big bike. What are you going to buy? You're going to buy your dream bike? Are you going to buy the bike that all your friends have got? Are you going to be drawn in by horsepower numbers or CCs? My advice, go and sit on them. Go to a showroom, go to a dealer, and sit on the bikes and find one that fits you. Find one that you find comfortable, and don't get drawn in by buying the most powerful bike that you can, or the newest bike that you can. In fact, I would recommend buying a second-hand bike for your first one. The chances are that after you've been riding for a little while, you'll change your mind, or you'll want to move on to something new. And if you buy a new bike, you'll lose quite a lot of money. So yeah, my tips are: find something that suits you and the riding that you want to do. Find something that you're comfortable on. Bear in mind that R6 or even R1 isn't the most comfortable bike on the planet. So if you're going to go on lots of long rides, or think you want to go on lots of long rides, then maybe that isn't the right bike for you. If you're short, try finding something that's got a lower seat height so you can get your feet firmly on the ground, or consider having it lowered if you can't find something low enough. don't be drawn by big horsepower and being the fastest bike. Even a little 600cc bike are going to be far faster than nearly every car on the road, unless you're looking at supercars. Motorcycle doesn't weigh that much, and you don't need a lot of horsepower to go very quickly. Somewhere in the 50 to 75 horsepower range is ideal for a first bike, in my opinion. You'd never guess the weather was good today, would you? This is all people who've gone to the beach. There's social distancing in action. Number 8 on my list is everybody drops their bike at some point. Don't worry about it. There is a saying that goes, there are those bikers who have dropped their bike, and there are those that haven't yet. Everybody drops their bike at some point. Even experienced bikers do it. It happens. Don't be put off by it. Chalk it up to experience and learn from it. Hopefully, if and when you drop your bike, it will be pushing it around in your driveway or when you've parked somewhere, and damage will be fairly minor. Yeah, don't be put off by the fact that you might or have dropped your bike. It happens to all of us. Personally, I've dropped quite a few bikes, so yeah, don't worry about it. Ignore any silly comments that you might get as a result. Number 7. So you got your bike, you got your license. What are you going to do? You got to practice. And when you're practicing, don't just stick to roads you know. Practice unfamiliar roads as well, so you learn how to read the road in front of you. Don't just stick to learning on the same old roads that you've been driving or riding for during your test, or while you've been driving, if you've had a driving license before you've learned to ride. Practice on unfamiliar roads as well. It really helps you learn roadcraft. And the other part of that is just keep practicing. Practice, practice, practice. Riding a bike isn't like driving a car. There's a lot more things that impact on the way that a bike handles and how a bike rides on the road than when you're driving a car. And the way you learn those things is through practice. It's a much more involved process riding a bike than it is driving a car. Number 6 on my list is buy suitable gear. Now, I'm not going to sit here and preach to you that you should wear all the gear all the time, because I don't believe that is the case, and I don't either. So, however, make an informed choice. And if you're going to buy gear, make sure you buy gear that's suitable. Now, most of us know that motorcycle helmets have to be approved for sale in the UK. The government, the Department for Transport in the UK, have a website where they have something called the Sharp test, and I'll put a link in the descriptions below here, below this video, or up there with a link to that. So whenever you go and looking to buy a helmet, check out that website first, and it gives them a 1 to 5 star rating. And it's a little bit more in-depth testing than they have for just the mandatory testing to be able to be sold in the UK. So yeah, go and check that out if you're going to buy a helmet. If you're going to buy a jacket or jeans or trousers or whatever it is that you're going to buy, again, bike gear should be approved, and I'll stick a little picture up in the corner of the label that should be in motorcycle approved gear. It says that it meets the abrasion requirements and impact requirements, and that they've been tested. So yeah, if you're going to buy gear, make sure you buy the right gear. Wearing the wrong gear is as useless as not wearing any anyway. So if you want to buy it and you want to wear it, make sure you're buying the right stuff so it does actually give you the protection that you think you're going to get from it. Number 5, we're halfway there, which is just as well because it's bleeding hot today. It is sweaty. Number 5, relax. Relaxing comes with practicing, and if you can relax on your bike, get the tension out of those shoulders. There's no need to be all tense on a bike. It doesn't help you. It's more of a hindrance than it is anything else. So yeah, this is pretty. Relax on your bike. Now, it's very natural for us to be tense and nervous when we first start riding, of course, and that's only natural, and there is nothing you can really do about that. But the more you practice, the more you will relax, the more you understand how your bike reacts to things on the road. So yeah, number 5, just relax on your bike. Don't grip onto those bars too tightly. There's no need. Even to maintain a steady speed, you don't have to have your hand gripped around the throttle really tightly. Just relax. Most aches and pains on a bike, unless you've got some underlying medical condition or a result of just being too tense. So just relax those shoulders, and you'll find your riding experience not only becomes much more pleasurable, but your riding gets better as well. Your riding will become smoother as you practice and as you relax. Yeah, that's number 5. Number 4, take more training. Like I've been saying, you're going to pass your test. What are you going to do? Are you just going to jump on a bike and carry on, or are you going to continue to learn? And I think more training can really help, especially if there's something specific that you're struggling with. I'd encourage anyone to take extra training anyway. It can be absolutely invaluable. But if there's a specific thing that you are struggling with, especially as a new rider, whatever it might be, whether it's braking, cornering, relaxing on your bike, whatever it might be, if you can, why not take some extra training? And there's loads and loads of different accredited or approved courses in the UK that you can take. The Enhanced Rider Scheme is one, and most trainers who will teach you for your test also offer the Enhanced Rider Scheme. That's well worth doing. There's the Bike Safe course as well. Again, quite a lot of training schools in the UK offer that. So ask your instructor about it, or give the school that you learnt with a call and see if they offer the Enhanced Rider Scheme or the Bike Safe scheme. The other thing you might want to consider doing is, if you're planning on doing a lot of long rides or riding a lot and riding with friends and stuff, there is a course called Biker Down, which is a course that teaches you how to deal with an emergency. So if someone comes off their bike that you're riding with, or you come across a bike accident when you are riding, you've got some skills to act as a first responder to that incident, and it can be really useful. There's basic first aid, what to do, what not to do. Yeah, those tend to be run by the emergency services. Quite often the fire brigade or the ambulance service will run those. Have a look for them. I'll put some links in the description below again to point you to all of these different courses. I highly recommend them all. Number 3, practice counter steering. This is really important. It's how you make your bike go around corners. I did a video on it a couple of weeks ago. I'll put a link up in the top right hand corner there to that. So for any new riders who are wondering what on earth counter steering is and how you get your bike to go around corners, take a look at that video. I talk through it. Hopefully you'll find it quite useful. But go out and practice it. Again, it's a skill that you have to learn, and the best way to learn it is through practicing it once you've understood the fundamentals. Oh, shade, that's better. So yeah, counter steering is really, really important. Part of that is looking where you're going when you're going through corners. Go out and practice that. It's really, really important. Number 2 on my list. Practice your braking. So many people only ever practice emergency stops for their test and never ever practice them again. It's most important when you get a new bike, and when you're a new rider, all your bikes are new to you, so get out and practice braking. Find a safe space to do it in, find a safe clear road, and practice braking to different levels. But it's really important to know how your bike acts under braking and how hard you can brake on it in an emergency situation. And if you practice that every now and again, I tend to do it once a month or so. If I'm out for a ride and there's nothing behind me and it's a nice clear road, I'll just do a couple of emergency stops just to remind myself and make sure it stays in the muscle memory. So yeah, that's number 2, practice your braking. When was the last time anyone watching this video, whether you're a new rider or an old experienced rider, practiced an emergency stop? Number 1 on my list of top 10 tips for beginners is have fun. It's all about having fun. Bikes are about the least practical vehicle that you can ride, that you can use. You know, you can't carry much on them unless you've got luggage. If it rains, you get wet. If it's windy, you get blown around. They're not as comfortable as a car. They're not that practical, really. Not saying you can't commute on them, but they're not really that practical. They're all about having fun. So when you're out doing all of this stuff that I've been talking about and practicing your counter steering and practicing your braking, make sure you're having fun. Having fun becomes easier as you relax and as you practice. So yeah, make the most of it. Enjoy the time that you have on your bikes. So yeah, my number 1 tip is have fun, because it should be fun. And if you're not having fun, then you're more likely to have an issue, you're more likely to have a problem. So yeah, number 1 top tip, have fun. Go out there and enjoy your bike. It's what you worked so hard to get your license for. Those are my top 10 tips for new riders. Number 10, find a mentor. Number 9, buy a suitable bike. Number 8, everybody drops their bike at some point. Number 7, when you're out practicing, ride familiar and unfamiliar roads. Number 6, buy approved gear or appropriate gear for whatever it is that you want to do. Number 5, relax. Number 4, take more training. Number 3, practice your counter steering. Number 2, practice your braking. And number 1, and most importantly, get out and have fun on your bikes. That's it guys, thank you very much for watching. It's been absolutely fantastic having you along for the ride as always. It's been my top 10 tips for beginners. I hope you found it interesting and useful. If you have, don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and also hit that bell button up in the corner there to get notified when I post new content, which is every Friday. Yeah, thanks very much for coming along for the ride guys. It is incredibly hot out here. I'm going to go home and have a beer. Thanks for watching, see you again soon.